Hello, my name is Dana Hogel at the Hogel Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about trafficking. And when I say trafficking, that can mean a lot of different things, but we're going to specify what type of trafficking today. We're going to specify drug trafficking, okay? Not human trafficking, not firearms or anything like that, but drugs. And I'm going to kind of get on a soapbox when I talk about this particular crime for a minute, because in most of these crimes, most of them happen because you are hanging out with the wrong people. So if I sound like your mom, I'm sorry. She was right. So you can be a passenger in a vehicle, and if there's a bucket load of drugs being taken from point A to point B, even if point A to point B, they're not intending on selling anything or whatever's going on, there's just a lot of drugs in that vehicle, you're with the wrong folks. And you're at the wrong place, wrong time, and you're committing a crime because you are part of that. You're part of that cargo, okay? Now you're gonna tell me, what if I didn't know? Oh, you knew you were hanging out with dirtbags. Now you need to go hire a lawyer and prove that you didn't know. So you have to prove a negative. Very challenging cases. Trafficking comes in all sorts of different ways and shapes and sizes nowadays. We've got fentanyl coming through the internet. We've got all sorts of crap getting actually thrown through the internet. We've got opioids that are through the internet. Trafficking doesn't necessarily have to be on your skateboard and your backpack or your vehicle and your trunk. Now it can be in the mail, okay? So trafficking is a very serious offense, and it usually results in some prison time. So trafficking, the derivative of trafficking is selling a drug, a narcotic, a dangerous narcotic. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be dangerous. It could be just a bucket load of marijuana that's way too much for one person to be having, and people figure you're selling it illegally. Now marijuana is all the buzz right now because it's supposed to be legal, but if you have a bucket load of it and you're selling it, well, see, you have to have a license to sell these things. So pump the brakes. Don't go buy it in Costco style bulk. I got a call this morning from a young man, seemed like a really good young man. He's getting pinched up there in Apache County for trafficking. This is marijuana. It was 4.5 pounds of it. That might sound like a lot to some of my viewers. It's frankly not a ton. I see a whole lot more than that. Most prosecutors and defense attorneys see a whole lot more than that. 4.5 pounds is still 4.5 pounds though. And it falls in that trafficking scenario. He had no idea. He wasn't even in the car that had the drugs. He was in the car in front of it. The car that had the drugs got pulled over. The fella that was driving his car, the vehicle he was in, turned around because his girlfriend was in the car that got pulled over. But because they turned around to check on the other vehicle that was trafficking, he has charges now for trafficking marijuana. That might not sound terribly fair now, does it? But sometimes life isn't terribly fair. And again, I'm going to go back to what your mom told you. Don't be hanging out with these people. They might be close family members. You've got to be wise. If you want to walk the straight and narrow and you want to just have peace and not criminality in your life, you've got to be wise. You choose who you spend your time with. And whomever you choose better dang well be worthy of your company, and vice versa. If you get nailed for trafficking, it's very, very serious. Now this little tiny minor U-turn, I call it, because this kid wasn't doing anything wrong. He's traveling, there's no drugs, there doesn't seem to be anything crazy trained, they're probably talking sports. And all of a sudden he turns around to go take care of his girlfriend, and girlfriend just so happens to have 4 pounds of marijuana in there. Okay, so let's focus on this for a minute. He is guilty by association. He's with the caravan, okay? And we have to absolutely fight like crazy to pull him, to extricate him out of this situation because he didn't have prior knowledge. He had no knowledge that a crime was being committed. Trafficking is something that really needs to be handled very wisely and aggressively. Dana Hogel at the Hogel Law Firm, we handle many of these types of cases. We're very good at them. We want to help you and or a loved one of yours that has found themselves ignoring their mother's advice to not hang out with that type of folk. We're here to help you. Call me, Dana Hogel at the Hogel Law Firm.